Saints Row playlists and Watch Dogs. So we've got some things in here that aren't just too great, so I apologize. Let's change that. Who is Southpaw Swagger? Now I feel like I need to know. I can't find any. Okay. It is two people. That's fine. I just don't like that song. Man. Alright, so yeah, I don't know. So Nerd, again, not too sure about it. Whack is just drugs or being weird, because some people are just naturally weird, right?
That's just whack, man.
Huh?
That's just whack, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like some people are just naturally weird, right? Like some people are just a little bit space cadet, and that's fine. But some people are able to get into that kind of flow state more than others.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have that as an ability, you need to be able to do something with it, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Genki also, like that. I think this is just not gonna happen.
I'm not telling you to not have it in the game. I'm just saying, like, it needs to do something if you're gonna make it as an ability.
Yeah. That's the only one. I'm pretty okay with that being the only one that I'm not sure. Like, head. I feel like there's something else that I'm missing there. You know what? Like, there's just a straight up study is what I need, actually. So, let me just call it that for right now. And just say that I don't like the name. Because we need something that just lets people, like, apprise themselves of a situation. So, study is... actually, this is gonna be, like, study/survey. See, like, whack, though, it's almost like... I don't know. So, here's the thing. This is, like, a combination of, like, attuning to this weird state and just things being slightly off. / I could see this being, like, a halfling pipe leaf situation where it's like, here, let's just smoke a joint together. I'm gonna roll plus whack. Like, I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna consort. So, you know what? This is like attuning plus consort. That's a good.
Well, I mean, like, can you actually do a toony type stuff with whack?
I think so.
In any way.
I think so. Cause it's like, it's not so much like a it's like a state of mind, right? Like you have to enter it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like, maybe it's like, I mean, there's definitely literature out there. I'm not going to say it's the only way to do it, but there are people who think you can only reach states of consciousness.
Well, right, and I think it's also like...
That you need drugs, well, quote-unquote drugs.
I think it's also like...
To get to.
If, like, say you're trying to figure out why someone's doing something, there is such a thing as, like, stoner logic. And I think it's like, it wouldn't make, like, why did they do this? Well, it wouldn't make sense to, like, maybe just someone that didn't have any dots in whack, but, like, it makes a lot of sense to someone that is able to kind of, like, get into that mindset, if that makes any sense. Like, why did you put pickles in Hot sauce together. Well, I was really hungry, and
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that makes complete sense to me because
it's an information gathering skill where like, but where things don't like things wouldn't make sense in a normal frame of reference.
right.
I think you could treat it as that.
So, like, maybe, like, study plus attune plus consort. And that's kind of, like, how I see attune being anyway. Like, attune also has the element of, yeah, you can make ghosts fight for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, attune, like, unless you're specific, like, attune very much is information gathering. And then if you have, like, abilities that are based off of it that let you do stuff, then you can, like, expand outward. And I guess in core blades, you can do some other stuff with it, but I see it largely as an information gathering.
Yeah,
ability.
I definitely see it as being rolling plus weird mads, like, for sure. So we've got, all right, so study again. I'm not sure how to, like, because that's not something you really do in Saints Row.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're branching out from Saints Row here also, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is, you have to have some, like, if you
this-
don't have a study type ability in here, like,
Yeah.
how do the characters make sense of the world?
Right, exactly. This is gonna be, if this was like a move, this would be like read the sitch. But it's not a move, so I can't call it that.
Yeah, I mean, whack would be like open your brain.
Yeah, well, I had it be dude, where's my car before. Like, that was the move associated.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
it
could also be like inspiration or creativity or whatever. Like, I don't know how, like, I'm gonna like come up with, like, this situation makes no sense to me. Like, I'm gonna like go smoke out, and then like I'll get a great idea.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly. Okay.
Which
so,
I mean, which is basically opening the brain.
Yeah. No. And that's kind of like, yeah, I like making it more concrete like that. So, all right. So let's fix this. This is gonna be the boss. Actually, before I get into playbooks, I think I need to take a step back, because I think I want to talk about how you make rolls. I think that needs to be a thing that happens. So if I go back, I think, let me just go back a ways. So I think stress and trauma, as of right now, I want it to be pretty similar. Like, I want the core to be there. I might change my mind later, but I do think that, so resistance, fortune, downtime, that's all fine. I do think I'm gonna rename some of it. So what is the basics? So we've got, like, what is the players, the characters, the crew. Alright, I'm just gonna steal liberally from the book. I'm still not sure. I think there's gonna be a stock setting, but I think there's gonna be, like, some advanced delving rules.
Oh, speaking of stealing things liberally from the book, I saw a post somewhere today. News on the SRD front.
Yeah, I saw that on Google, actually, Google Plus. And I was like, excellent, because that's, like, pretty much how John and Sean were envisioning as being in the SRD are the things that I'm going to use. So I'm totally safe on that front once they get around to publishing it. So let's call it Stoner, because I feel like Stoner can at least be, like, a positive thing. I feel like druggy has a very negative connotation that I don't really want. Because drugs are fine. Drugs are definitely fine. So, just gonna put that there for now. The crew. So crew types is something that I definitely actually want to talk about. So I'm glad I... So I think like... gangsters is such a loaded term. It's the problem. Like, I want to do things that's very supportive of, like, whatever, especially in a world that's so goofy. And I don't want to use, like, terms that have kind of, like, a negative connotation.
Well, so, what would gangsters do?
So, this is, like, a really generic term. Gangsters, focus is, like, on turf. Well, no, because everybody... You know what? Fuck that. So, tech head. So if you have a tech head crew type, it's, like, taking turf through hacking.
I think you should have a distributors crew then.
What?
A distributors crew then.
Yeah. Taking turf
over turf through the drug trade. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know a better word for it at this point, but distributor.
Let's genericize that. So let's just do it like this. Through hacking and this is maybe not. Let's just call this hackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, surveillance is a good one. What's data? Data acquisition? So distributors is through trade, through acquisition and trade of illicit substances. What's another one? What's and flashy costumes. I have no idea whether I'm gonna keep that, but it's going on the list right now because that was one of the main factions in Saints Row 3. So like, this is like, what were they? What was the faction? I need a Saints Row.
I mean, if you do have wrestling in there, like, I don't know if they, like they should be in there. But I guess how they be represented.
Yeah, it's Luchadores. It's just their name. Okay, so what did they do? Who handled the drug trade and gambling? Okay. Oh, that's right, they do gambling. So let's say gambling. Crafting false identities and or people smuggling. I feel like I don't want to have people smuggling because that's not something Saints Row was ever involved with, and I really don't like the idea of people smuggling. like just as a thing. Like that's like one of